Thank you, Brian. Let me start by reinforcing what you've just heard. Our 2020 outlook is not an ambition, it's a clear line of sight. The strength of these targets come from three things that are now firmly in place: a scaled platform, a disciplined operating model, and far greater visibility across our ecosystem than at any point in our history. Brian has articulated the economics of this business with clarity and predictability. His model reflects the underlying performance of the platform, not blue sky assumptions, not the uncertainty, but the fundamentals that you've seen across every part of today's presentation. And I want to be explicit that we have high conviction in achieving the 2028 outlook because our platform is delivering exactly the dynamics that we designed it to deliver. And the strategic context behind these numbers is exactly what I want to close with, because it's where the next decade of this industry is heading. So let me do that. Let me close by shifting the way that we all think about rights, because the definition of data rights is expanding faster than at any point in the industry's history. For years, when people said data rights, they were really talking about one thing: sports betting data, a narrow slice of what's really happening. But everything that you've seen today shows that this definition is now outdated. Genius IQ is redefining what data is, how it's captured and how it's monetized, and how it powers the entire sports ecosystem. Mesh data, automated capture, 3D digital twins, zero latency event streams. This is not just betting data, it is quite literally a new asset class. And that new asset class unlocks applications far beyond betting. Broadcast enhancements, personalization, personalized viewing, real-time advertising, sponsorship optimization, fan engagement, and content creation. All built from the same foundation. So the real question for the leagues become, what does the future data rights model look like? They will no longer be able to limit themselves to a narrow betting-only construct. They will need to embrace next-generation data that underpins virtually every revenue pathway in modern sport. The answer is clear. Fan behavior is changing. Digital, interactive, personalized consumption is becoming the norm. And as a result, the traditional rights model is coming under pressure, and you can see this evolution everywhere across global sport. Our deal with the European League signed this year focuses on the long-term value of Genius IQ tech rather than the rights fees alone. French League One shifting towards direct-to-consumer, DAZN choosing not to continue with the Belgian Pro League, regional sports networks in the US under sustained pressure, Apple shortening its MLS deal, and IMG Arena exiting the space. These aren't isolated incidents. They point to a fundamental shift in how sports content is valued, distributed, and monetized. Outside of the NFL, every league is reconsidering how value flows, how engagement is captured, and how stable their model really is in a fragmented, digital-first world. And all of this leads to a simple conclusion. Leagues must live in that digital world. They must adapt to new expectations. They must find new ways to monetize and engage their audiences. And this is where Genius comes in. Today you saw how Genius IQ elevates every part of the sporting experience and how it powers personalized viewing experience for fans, how it drives deeper fan engagement and new advertising inventory, and how it improves targeting, increases ROI, and lifts the value of league content. Every component feeds to the next. More engagement creates more data creates more value increases the total flow of dollars across the sports landscape. By plugging into Genius IQ, every part of a league's ecosystem becomes connected and each partner benefits from the others. This is why leagues are taking a holistic approach to their rights, and why Genius Sports is the end-to-end platform capable of monetizing this next generation of data across betting, media, advertising, sponsorship, and fan engagement. This is the foundation of long-term, mutually beneficial partnerships, a rights model built for the next era of sport. Everything you saw today sits on Genius IQ, and the future will demand even more from this foundation. We won't build every new application. The ecosystem will. Teams, brands, developers, innovators. But every future application will need the same foundation: real-time data, AI, and a unified operating system. And that is Genius IQ. And it means that we can share in the upside of everything we've built on top of that platform. Think of Genius as the app store of sport. A platform that will do what the sports industry, what the App Store did, a platform that will do for the sports industry what the App Store did for mobile. It will unlock an entire new economy. The guidance that you've seen today reflects the opportunities directly ahead of us. The even greater long-term upside comes from everything that's still to be created. If you believe in the long-term growth of global sport, there's no better way to participate in that upside than investing in Genius. We don't rely on subscribers. We don't rely on customer acquisition. Our model scales with fan engagement, and sports fans always come back. Global sports consumption more than doubled in the last 10 years to 3 trillion hours in 2024. And this is expected to increase to 4 trillion by 2034, with digital already accounting for 40% and rising fast. When leagues grow, we grow. When digital streaming expands, we expand. When in-play betting accelerates, our financial performance accelerates. When advertising becomes more data-driven, we monetize more pathways. And when new applications emerge, they're built on our platform. Owning Genius means owning a share of every major revenue pathway in modern sport without carrying the cost structure of any of them. It's a hedge against rights volatility, a hedge against fragmentation, and a pure play on the digitization of sport. If you believe the world will keep watching, betting, streaming, sharing, and engaging with sport, then Genius is the company that you want to own. Because every time the fan shows up, our economics scale, and sports fans show up forever. The future of sport will be built on Genius, and so will the returns. Thank you.